Are you missing, like I actually did, missing the concept of dependence in your life? That is just like the foundation of everything. Being able to rely on something without it being a codependence, too enmeshed, which is rooted in incapability, or interdependent, which is too much isolation and too much weight put on oneself, taking overtly responsibility for other people and rejecting help and stuff like that. Those are the two uh, extremes. And in the middle is dependency. Like I said, it's the reliability. So to depend on something is a good thing, and it's a necessary thing to have a successful life and a life that is able to grow and expand and become bigger and have more connection and more building more things that can sustain in the long run. So being dependent and being able to have reliability yourself is worth the effort. It's worth the work to um, both have it, like I like to say, I like that, both have it, yeah. So capability and dependency becomes something that we can all have. That's not what I meant to say, but it's a valid and very important point. So uh, I wanted to keep that in there. And dependency means you can depend on somebody, on a deal that's made, on a word that is spoken, on something to be there. This is essentially it. It is about you can depend on it being there and staying there when it matters. When it matters the most, when it's most important that it's there for you, that's when it stays, and that's when it is committed to staying by your side in that moment. And this makes so many things, amazing things, possible in life. Like, for instance, if you want to get on stage, or you want to make a video, or you want to race track in a car, or you want to go fast or whatever, in the most important situations, right when everybody is counting on you to get it right, you don't mess it up. You don't mess it up, and you don't lose it right when you're actually supposed to have it the most, like on stage, or like the brakes on a car when you need to take a right turn and slow it down a little bit. Know the words when you're on stage, saying what you conveying what you need to convey. And I mean, if you want to say something on stage and you mess it up and you need to take a moment to remember, that can be done. That's possible. That's not as crucial as the car situation. Or if you're a musician and a singer and you need to remember in time right now what you're supposed to sing or play, that's when you just need dependency, and you need reliability on yourself, on your brain, which is not two separate things. But it's the skill of being able to recall and access in the now, and being able to be so certain of that ability and that skill. But really, it's an ability that is created from programming, which is subconscious programming. That it will, and believing that it will be there when you need it, and it will be there when you want it, and it will be there when it matters the very, very most. And it matters. It matters that it's there because it makes you capable or absolutely not capable. So it makes you or it breaks you. having dependency, and the dependency is a matter of trust, and that trust is built from having it proven that it's there. And if it's not proven, it needs to be like very, very, very trusting, like faith that it's there. But then again, it needs to be proven, because if you jump into something and you're like, I fully trust that it's there when I need it, and then it's not, that creates a different momentum in you than if it shows up and actually proves to you that your belief is right. And what is just coming up for me right now is that I think this dependency, reliability is built very much from being able to have, where you grew up with parents that allowed for serving you what you wanted and needed without resistance. So I want this, mommy. Yeah, here it is. I want this and I need this, daddy. Yes, here it is. And if you grew up with people that that were reluctant to serve what was expected, that only wanted to serve how they wanted to serve, what they wanted to serve, at the time they wanted to serve it, and only if it was a surprise to you, not really expected service. That's when you start having reliability and dependency issues. Because you have no control over getting what you want when you need and want it and when you ask for it. So obviously, if you have that in your subconscious system programmed, that of course when I say I want it and need it because I need to use it right now, your subconscious and your higher self and your idea of what God or yourself is, if that idea is I'll give it to you right when you need it, no doubt about it, and no reluctancy to serve it, you get it right when you say you need it, then you're able, and in that case you're able to actually rely on yourself and have it served to you when you need it. And imagine the life that you're living, if or maybe you don't have to imagine it, maybe you're living it right now, a life where the only service you get is when you are surprised and taken aback by it because you didn't see it coming. And when you need, or if you want and need and ask for that because you know you want and need it, nothing happens. Maybe it even runs away from you. When you are deliberate and clear on your needs and wants, maybe that's where you actually get abandoned, when you ask for it directly, and when you know what you want and need, and when you ask for it, communicate it. I have lived that life for many years, and it's impossible to build anything. It's impossible to build any, like businesses, relationships, self-trust. It's just not a foundation, only being served on other people's terms. And if you think love is that, try and work with that belief and know that actually what love is unselfish service, because it requires someone to, if I'm in a relationship with a man and he needs and wants something, and he communicates it, me wanting to deliver that because that's what he wants and needs, and that's why that is my act of love. That is love. And of course, it goes the other way. But I was used to it not going that other way. I was used to someone loving me only on their terms, in their way. I will love you this way. This is how I show my love. Yeah, but that's not how I receive love. That's not how I feel love. That is not love to me. So reliability and expecting to have the expected delivered is a part of being able to have a foundation that is successful, a foundation that is able to carry responsibility that is able to actually be a foundation. Like taking an example that is amazing is to me, having had these issues in my life, looking to somebody like Dua Lipa is very grounded in her own nervous system and very, very reliable. It's very clear that it's very reliable nervous system she has, and I can see how that makes sense when I see where she comes from and what she comes from, and she's the foundation. Like pop stars and rock stars are foundations of a lot of responsibility and the responsibility is on her actual body. It's on her mind because her mind is part of her wholeness, her body, and like it's a mental game, I'm sure. However, it is also a body. It is physical to be a singer. It is physical to be a dancer, and it's physical to be a singer, like vocal cords wise. And it's all the time that these pop stars like her need to deliver from a physical place in them and deliver to maybe a stadium full of like 100,000 people several nights in a week. And to be able to carry that that kind of responsibility and weight is the whole foundation within a person like Dua Lipa is dependability on self. Obviously, she needs to also depend from there on everybody else. She depends on people setting up the stage, depending on musicians who also need to depend on themselves to be able to remember and recall in the moment. And depending on to be a success and to be able to actually be worth anything, she depends on the people, the audience, the people in the world to acknowledge and see and recognize the value she's bringing, and wanting to invest in that with actual money, wanting to use their own free will to follow through on putting their money and their credit card numbers in a system that then processes it. That is also depending on everybody buying it, because the venue is only existing because of people's will to buy it. So there's so much dependability and reliability that needs to happen for the world to prosper. And for the world to have people in it that prosper, that grow, that can build amazing things. And for souls like you and me, like Dua Lipa, like every person that buys a Dua Lipa ticket, we all have soul purposes that we are here to live out, that we require dependability. And the way I see it, it's about not being abandoned when it matters the most. It's about being able to stay when it matters the most, stay together when it matters the most. And I believe that happens with and starts with also not abandoning yourself when it matters. So staying with yourself, perceiving yourself, feeling your own feelings, allowing yourself and feeling your capability, your own capability, and trusting that you're not there to control, you're not in this world to control other people. And when you let go of controlling other people and you let go of having the relationship, responsibility to connect other people because they can't start themselves or connect themselves or get out of relationships themselves or out of conversations themselves, if they can't uphold their own boundaries, all that, if you were called in to always save people like that or be something that they couldn't, You abandon yourself at the cost of that, at the terms of other people's incapabilities. So you stay with yourself as in you're capable and you believe other people are capable. I mean, if you're not, they will have to take their lesson of feeling what it's like to not be capable. Having their boundaries intruded on if they can't set boundaries. They don't call you in to set boundaries for them. And this is what will make you capable when it matters and make you reliable to yourself when it matters, because you stay with yourself when it matters. You don't abandon your own moment of mattering to go and save somebody else. You just stay in your moment of, I matter, this matters, and I rely on myself to matter. And I also don't rely on anybody else to come in my moment to save me. I don't. I will take the lesson myself. If something happens in that moment, I will take that lesson because I need to learn it. So we don't go in and disrupt other people's lessons by saving them. And at the same time, ruining our own reliability, ability, our own dependency on ourselves. So don't run away from yourself. Don't go and run to save other people. Just rely on yourself, and rely on yourself to be able to take the lessons that you actually are here to learn so that you can actually grow and you can actually be self-reliant, self-dependable, and from there depend on other people that are also self-dependable, self-reliable.